Welcome back. The widow of slain Fire Chief Corey Comperatore blasted the Secret Service this week. She said the agency's well-documented security failures at that fateful Trump campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, left her husband and the rest of the crowd there as, quote, sitting ducks. Comperatore was killed nearly 1 year ago on July 13th, 2024, when 20-year-old would-be assassin Thomas Crooks fired shots at the president.
Take a look at what happened.
No doubt none of us will forget that scene. The Secret Service says it suspended 6 agents for up to 42 days for their actions and inactions that day. It's all cold comfort to the furious family members of the victims. Off to the side of that crowd in Butler and sitting just 4 feet from the president was journalist Salena Zito. Now, in that surreal moment when bullets began flying, a campaign staffer tackled Zito to the ground and shielded her body with his own. The very next day, Zito would go on to speak to the wounded president 7 times, gaining unique insight into his thoughts and reaction in the immediate aftermath of the attempt on his life. She's out with a new book now. It's titled Butler, the Untold Story of the Near Assassination of Donald Trump and the Fight for America's Heartland. Salena Zito is joining me now. Welcome back, Salena. It's so nice to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me.
I've been excited about this interview all day. The president called you 7 times after he was shot. What did he say? What did you two talk about?
So to put it in context, I had talked to him just 4 minutes before he went out on the stage. So he was well aware of the fact that I was there and I was in close proximity. I was in the buffer. So he called me the next day. I'm with my daughter and my son-in-law, and she's a photojournalist, and we made him carry our equipment. And there's, you know, we vainly thought it would keep us from being hot. And he calls me, and the first thing he says is, "Good morning, Salena. This is President Donald Trump. I want to make sure you're okay, your daughter's okay, and I'm really sorry for not being able to do that interview."
Wow.
And I know. I swore like a truck driver. I won't do that here. And I said, "Are you kidding me? You're the one that was shot, right?" It was just a really important moment. He would go on to call me a total of 7 times. And a lot of that conversation was trying to figure out, in his mind, what happened.
Yeah.
Why did he put that chart down? Why did he turn his head at that moment? And these conclusions always came back to God, the hand of God, and purpose. I have a purpose now, and I was spared, and I have an obligation to meet that purpose. And so it would be, the conversations are very powerful.
Yeah.
And the one that I think is the one that is really a common thread throughout the rest of the campaign, but even as he has comported his presidency, how he's run it, in which he says to me, I asked him, "Why did you say fight, fight, fight?" Because I could see him. It was right there by me. And he said, "Well, so, you know, in that moment, I wasn't Donald Trump. I was representing America, the presidency. And I had an obligation in that moment to show strength, to show our grit, our our sort of exceptionalism, that when we get knocked down, we get back up." So it was more than just about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It was about representing the country. And I knew that I needed to do that in that moment, or panic would happen.
This is incredible to listen to, because it seems like he was processing everything that happened while he's talking to you. You have such a unique perspective. You have been called the Trump whisperer. You understand his base a lot better than many journalists do. You write in your book about how that moment in Butler and Trump's defiant reaction, that fight, 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 it defined the election. I want to ask you, Salena, what does mainstream media not get about what happened in Butler 1 year ago?
They don't understand how riveting and how much that changed American politics. It changed the trajectory of the election, which I already thought he was going to win, but maybe with not as much as the breadth that happened. But, you know, it also just set the tone. And it was also a really moment for my profession really did not behave in the way that the American people expected them to. And, you know, the first couple of stories were like he was hit with shrapnel or glass, right? They tried to downplay it in an effort to be first. They were wrong. And it took days for them to deny that. And the American people saw him being shot on television.
That's right.
And it was a crystallizing moment, the saying, we have been hoodwinked by these guys about Biden. We're being hoodwinked now, and we're done.
We are well into the second term. How has the attempted assassination fueled his throttle this term so far?
Well, you can tell in everything that he does, it does have purpose. He puts his head down and he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have conversations about, you know, should we do it this way or that way? But he's going to do it because he understands that no one is promised tomorrow. You know, no one, and anything could happen. And he has an obligation to fulfill God saving him in that moment, and that he is going to live up to that promise. He's going to live up to being saved. He also believes he has an obligation to Corey Comperatore. That has really hit him hard in a way that a lot of people have not understand, but that is throughout the book.
Are you surprised there hasn't been more answers about the shooter and his motive 1 year later?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there could be a number of reasons for that. And I think that there'll be more things that come forward. But, you know, Thomas Matthew Crooks was a young man who did not have a digital footprint in the way that you see most people his age, right? In particular, people that are introverts, they tend to then be very prolific in what they do on social media. He didn't do that. That makes it very, very difficult to try to profile what motivated this young man. But it is clear that in the last 4 months of his life, he had completely unwound in his mental illness or whatever was driving him, and that led him to this moment.
Well, Salena, I'm looking forward to reading your book. Salena Zito, thank you again. The new book is called Butler, the Untold Story of the Near Assassination of Donald Trump and the Fight for America's Heartland. It's out right now. Thank you again. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
So are we. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.